Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We are here with Mrs. Melker and her representative to discuss her utility bill. And I see she has a lot of supporters in the room, but we will not be taking public comment other than discussing Mrs. Melker's bill. At this point, Mrs. Melker.
You apparently have amount you want me to pay for water? If you come up with something? I wrote you 2 checks and I thought what I owed and
Okay.
I had brought it to my account, so I'm waiting for you to tell me what I owe.
Okay, at this point, we're gonna turn it over to Jan and let her go
Okay.
through your payment history and tell you what we found.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's any use of going through the history. I've been through it like dozens and dozens of times. Yeah, you can just let me know what you think I owe.
We got 1 check, the other check was not in the envelope at all.
I canceled the first check.
Yes, the first check, we did not receive
Okay.
at all.
Oh, that's-
The second one, I
That's
have it, and it's in the safe and stuff like that. I was just waiting until we got together with you to figure out
Okay.
what's our procedure, what we're going to do and how we're going to proceed.
Okay.
So I ran a transaction report from the 1st of 2018 to our last billing, which is 4/19. And it was brought to my attention by our software company that you were charged for water amount that was very excessive for the December 18th and January 19th of 2019. And then we have 4 months where you weren't charged any water usage whatsoever. There was 3 months, August of 18, October of 18, November of 18, and then we had 2 excessive water usage amounts. Then the July billing that was added to your bill that was not sent out in July, and then we have 1 that was no charge for water in February of 2019. I went back a year, and your water usage fluctuates, and I can understand because of busy seasons and stuff like that. So from the 1st through the ones that read, from the 1st of 2018 to September of 2018 was an average of 30,000 gallons per month, is what the meters read. So what I did, I figured the 2 months that were really excessive, I subtracted the 30,000 average from each amount and subtracted the amount I charged you $120 a month for your water, just like the other months prior, and subtracted the amounts that I can show you. I have 388,000 gallons over usage. So, and that was a meter read, and I don't know why. It's when I was very brand new. So I took and times that by the usage rate and figured as much as $970 that we would credit your account for that month. And then in January, it was 72,000 gallons, and so that's 42,000 over the 30,000. So that's $105. So we would credit you that amount. And then, but there's also 4 months that was not charged for any water, which is $300.
Which months were they?
I have September of 2018. No, I'm sorry, that's not one. It is August of 2018.
August of 2018, I paid you $248. Would you like the check?
I have it right here. But on our charges, you paid $45 for water, $67 for sewer, and $136 for garbage. And I know that's one of the things that you wanted to speak about was the garbage cans and how many you have. And so that month, and then also October of 2018, there was no water usage above the 45, the basic rate.
And I paid you for that month as well.
Yes, you paid for that, but like I said, there's no water usage. You had to have the water completely turned off to not to be using any water, so I'm just saying that was your basic rate.
Okay, to stop you for a minute. If you're gonna estimate a bill, I mean, you can't just say I'm gonna charge you minimum water usage. You estimate a bill by what usually my bills are.
Right, that's
So-
what she did. 30,000 or 300.
Whatever, just go right ahead.
So, there was no water usage on those bills, and along with, February of 2019, there's 4 months that showed that you just paid the basic rates, is all. So, and I said, then the average is about 30,000 per month. And I'm just going, because some of them are higher, some of them are lower, but the last year was about 30,000 before it decided.
Jan, I have a
to-
question.
Yes.
So, the way the bill works is that there's a standard charge, the $45.
The $45.
And then there's a charge for usage above and beyond
1,000 gallons.
1,000 gallons?
1,000 gallons per, over 1,000 gallons. You don't
Okay.
get charged until it hits 1,001, and then you get charged for the
Okay.
$2.50 for that 1,000.
So you're averaging her usage over the standard bill at 30,000?
That's, like I said, from the first of 18 through 12 of 18.
Okay, can I just interrupt you one more time? I had my accountant do this and my lawyer, so it's, I'm pretty sure it's pretty accurate. We estimated our bill from January of 2017, so we were billed for that whole year. And in January and February of 2018, because those are the only months you read my meter. So if you're gonna estimate my bill in 2018, you'd have to agree to meter to do that. So that's why we took the whole year of 2017 and the first 2 months of 2018, because that's the only time you ever read the meter. From March until December, when I got this big bill, you didn't read the meter at all. It's all estimated charges, according to your bills, and I've got every one of them. The cards that come in the mail.
Yes, and I just was going by what my printout is. I know that prior to me that the bills were not
I
being
understand
read.
that, but
So,
I mean, that is not
but
my
I-
fault.
Because I was always under the impression that if it's an estimated reading, it was just the bottom of everything. So like your basic water at the 45, your basic sewer and your basic garbage, and that's what our estimate had always been. Just like-
Estimate
usually
is-
the average.
Is the average.
Right, and I get that, but I mean,
So they can go back 2 or 3 years and say, okay, for the month of August, they used this month for as long as they had the account open, and then divide it by that, how many months, and then this is the average that we're,
Right, I get
Or if
that.
it's all the same, then it's just like, okay, you used 30,000 for the last 3 years at this month, and that's what we're gonna, put on your account is 30,000. Then if it's wrong, it'll catch up. If you overestimate, it'll finally catch up. If you underestimate, you're gonna have to pay more.
So do you have a record of the last time it was read and then when it was read, and you see the difference and you can average that?
The
Yeah,
spreadsheet that I mailed to you
Yeah.
guys has all that on it.
Okay, that's the only fair way to do it.
That's the
Because to
only
me,
fair way to
the
do
last
it, that's the
time
way
it
my
was read
accountant did
to
it.
now divide it
She
by
did the whole
months.
year at my very highest bill I've ever had with you guys. And that's when I presented the check to you. I told you in the letter that I wrote, the second letter that I wrote. And this might have been the first one. Anyway, she did it for a whole year. Because you can't estimate 2018 because they only read the meter 2 times. This is according to your card you sent me in the mail.
Is there any reason that we could figure out why that 1 month went wacko?
Because what they did was they took all these months plus the month I didn't pay and added, plus they didn't take out anything that I did pay for this whole month. So on the sheet that I sent you, the spreadsheet that the accountant made, she showed you every month, if we went by my highest average, how much that would be short, including the last month, and we gave you the highest amount we've ever paid for a water bill for 12 months. Because we wanted to be fair.
That doesn't sound fair.
No, like the way I would say, I mean, which anyway you'd be paying for what you actually use. Whatever the
We are
last actual.
definitely willing
No,
to
and I
do
get what
this.
you're saying. What I'm, and just to reiterate it, is that, okay, our last actual reading of saying, January of 18, okay, we got that gallons usage, and then whatever the current one is, whatever months there were in between, divide that out, what they did there, that gives you the real average on,
That's all she should have to pay.
yeah, and the way I look at it, I guess that's fair, that you're paying for what you used, it's not
It's,
a,
I give you the page 9 through 11 of what the reading said that she was charged. There's in, January of 2018,
we have something
24,000.
with the gallons
Yeah.
used.
Yeah, my average gallons was 28.5
Well, I
gallons
see, like,
used.
those are the average, but I mean,
This,
like,
this,
the
that's-
actual.
this is actual.
Those
For
are the
year
act-
2017 and the first 2 months of 2018, I'm using 28.5 gallons a month.
So it says running.
I'm sorry,
What was that
20,
period?
25,000.
28.5 I'm
What was
sorry.
that period?
All of 2017, and then they only did readings in the first 2 months of 2018, so that's the only way the accountant could do it.
Okay.
And that's
And
what
your
cards I
average was
have.
what? 28?
28.5.
So her average of 30 is pretty close.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm just saying she did it exactly.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
There's some months that you use less because, you know,
And when it says running balance, that's the total of, you see your bills and it says usage, the small numbers say 24, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, that's for the month from January 2018 to 6 of 2018, and then 2000, there was nothing for 2000, for July, and then there was just a zero reading for August, and September was 35,000. Then in October, there was one that was no reading, and November, there was no reading, and December, there was the one that's 418,000, and January was 772,000 gallons, and then the July bill that didn't go out, and then it started reading again of 24,000, 3,000, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000.
With that kind of
and for the
consistency,
July bill, the accountant took again, we had no bill that she could record, and she wrote in there that we had to pay the full amount of the average amount ever charged. So the check I gave you was the highest average we ever had for any water bill for all these months, plus the other couple months I gave you when you sent me the two
And
big.
I know that 1 month after we finally did get a reading, which would have been November's, should have been November's reading, but it didn't read then, that the ones that, the 3 months prior to getting somebody on board and reading the meters, I'm thinking that for some reason when the meter was read, there was an extra zero added or something.
to me,
to
I
that.
just, with the consistency of being right in that 30 range, high, low, in between, but right in there, and then all of a sudden there's a 72, I can see an influx if, say, you had maybe a few people, it would go up 4,000. To go up 32,000 gallons, that's substantial, that's,
Yeah.
like, I mean, obviously there was some.
That's a major
screw up.
leak.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
just-
you would have caved in had you had that much water.
Just like in December when it had 418,000 gallons. And like I said, we were all new,
Mhm.
and both reader and office, and we didn't catch it. And I was also told that anything that's above average is because we had all the estimates, and they finally caught up. But I didn't catch the 418 or the 72,000.
Jan, do you have a number that we can share with?
I did all this research, so I figured that with the differences of the overusage, the amount was $1,075 that we owed them for all the,
What does she owe us?
I come up with 2,060.58.
And what did you come up with, Sue?
That's great, I already checked for that, that's great.
What did you come up
Is
with?
that up to date today?
That is up to the last billing, yes.
That's fine, I'll
And
check for that.
that's taking the penalty off, all the penalties.
I appreciate it.
And that's up to date for
Does that
April.
include the garbage as well?
And that includes all the garbage,
That's
if you
fine.
wanna do the garbage.
So have you talked to her about your billing on garbage, you got cans out there
I
that
came
you
in
don't
once and I wrote 2 letters. We're not doing the business near
Yeah.
Bob and Kelly right
need.
there
You need
anymore.
to get some of
We
that
wanted a
stuff
smaller
out of there.
can. I wrote 2 letters and I came in once and then I called the garbage company and I says, you know, listen, I says, we're not used to doing the business, can they bring a smaller can? She goes, great, I'll bring you one out Friday. She says, sorry, she called me back Friday, she says, sorry, but I called the town and she was told that because, they have a contract with the town of Frauenberg, I'm not allowed to get a smaller can.
No, you
told her.
can get us, no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, well, that's
She
what
told me
said.
something different and and so I told her, no, but we can give you a smaller one. All you had to do is call us and say, hey, you know, we need
Yeah,
something
that's
smaller.
That's when I came here,
So what month was that you wanted to downsize?
January.
So in
So there's
January.
4 months.
So
Four months, that
it's
needs to
been
be taken
January,
off.
I've been trying to get
Sure.
the can sent,
So
and that's fine.
we need to reduce her charge
For those
for
4.
those 4 months,
How
since
big a
she's
garbage
asked
can
to
do you
get
want?
those cans
It's
reduced.
half of that, we got a 4, we wanted 2.
Okay, so, all right, and then we can do that?
And you don't need to have to reduce the charge, that's fine, I'll be glad to pay it.
No,
No.
we're gonna reduce it.
No,
Fair is fair.
because the lady that I talked to from Republic told me something different, and so it said, so I could not,
Yeah, I said, I've been trying
That's
for
fine.
3 months,
so,
I said, I called you directly, I said, we're not using it, can I get a smaller? She said, great, I'll have one out to you Friday. She called me back, cause I know her, she comes in all the time, and she was like, I'm so sorry. You know, it was
Okay.
embarrassing for her and me.
No,
So-
good.
We'll take care of that.
yeah, we'll just.
So how much less are we gonna?
So two yards is it's $17 a month for one, so 2 is 34,
Mhm.
times 4 is $136, which we'll subtract from the 2,060. And then I will change that, so the next billing that comes out at the end of the month will reflect $34 on your bill. Instead of the,
So are you happy with that?
That's fine, it's great with me, yep.
What's this check that they have yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you wanna give me back that check and I'll write you another one, or?
yep, we can do that, I'll have to.
Or I can just write you, if you just minus that check out, and I'll write you a check for the difference. However you wanna do it, whatever's convenient.
Make sure my math is right.
That and if, I'd say, just since like we're getting kind of screwy readings, well, like when Jeremy goes out and reads it, it'll pop up like whatever gallons usage. So that, like, so then we're all on the same page. I can talk to him, and as soon as he reads it, come out and he can leave a word with one of the bartenders or you and say, this is the usage. And I say we do at least 4 months and then do that and keep tabs to where he can come right up to you, so it doesn't go out in the mail and we don't end up doing this again, wasting everybody's time.
Well, I
And
keep a
then-
pretty close eye on the
Right,
bills when they
I
go out.
get you, but at least that way she gets right out the gate, and then that way we can do a real-time average just to keep tabs on it, in case that meter is failing, there could be, cause that's a radio read, correct?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So
It
there could
is,
be-
it is kinda goofy.
Yeah,
Well,
and we've
obviously,
had
on
these
that
readings on
system,
that
too.
before,
I'd like
so.
to comment on that meter. I was involved a couple of meetings ago, you know, with your city guy. What we did was check for a leak.
Right?
We shut, we had him down there, we read the meter, both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Sue's locked everything, I had everything shut in, with no water usage at all.
Mhm.
8 hours later, we went back and read the meter again, so we both were there.
Yep.
It has a slight leak in it.
Gotcha,
It usually figured around 50 gallons in.
in 8 hours.
And he told me that he'd been having trouble with this meter. It's
Mhm.
screwy, he says, it doesn't read right.
Right,
So that might be something you wanna check into.
definitely, better than,
And I've already talked to Jeremy about
Oh,
that,
okay.
and we're gonna look at it and keep an eye on it, like Nate said.
Yeah.
And that we will change it out, we have no problem with that.
No, I mean, he just made the comment that when we found out where it was at, we leaked just a slight
Is the
leak.
leak in the meter
No, it's
itself?
somewhere,
In the line?
Somewhere in line.
it's just a slight leak,
Yeah,
but, he said that he'd been having trouble with that meter. It was
Yes, he
screwy
has.
and just reading all over the place,
mhm,
so.
okay.
Anything else?
That was right after
Discuss?
that 400 and
Cause,
some
sure,
thousand,
cause
that's
even,
ridiculous.
even
Yes,
with
it
this.
is.
Totally ridiculous.
That, even with that, like, even with the current leak we were saying, that's gonna be
Really big.
700 gallons
Huh?
a month, that's not
Need
like
a really big-
This is
34,000,
nothing,
no.
that's nothing.
No,
All you're
exactly,
trying to
it's not
reflood
that.
this for.
No, it's nothing.
okay.
You're happy with,
The water bill's great, yeah, I've got 2 quick issues and then we'll be done.
When we get done, I'll
Okay,
get you
so
a
the
check
number
back.
that you're looking at now, Jen?
Is 1824.58,
Okay.
and then she has a check in the safe, and I will get that, and
and I
And how
can,
much was the check for?
it's like 1,500 something.
15 something, I'll let you.
And that
check
was
the
not
whole amount.
including the last couple of bills
Yeah.
also. so
Yeah,
we're-
exactly, so it's right.
So what we've done is we've taken off all the penalties, we've given that credit.
I haven't done it yet, but no, we'll give her
Right.
the credit for
Okay.
the overusage that
Right.
was she was billed for, that she didn't use, plus the penalties, plus the $136 for the 4 months of garbage.
Right.
And then we will go ahead and change the garbage charge
Mhm.
before the next billing.
Okay.
So it reflects $34 a month. And well, when the meeting's over, I will hand her a check back that she did send us, and
Right.
she will write me, or write a difference, whatever she wants to do.
Yep, no problem.
So I just don't, because the date on the checks might be.
Yeah, all right.
So Sue, why don't you, go on with the next topic?
Okay, need to talk about the house for a second. You guys need to decide what you wanna do about the house. They told, in resolution 432, you guys have it, within 5 years, you provide us with water and sewage. We spent $40,000 with grade work, lift stations, 3 curb stops I have in front of my building, along with the stainless inserts, all the pipe that the town required, and everything else, to get this done, because I was supposed to be provided water and sewage for the house. It's in your resolution, gave you 5 years, and the 5 years are up, and the house is going up for sale, and right now everything is on the same line. What do you want to do?
Are you referring to resolution setting forth the intent of the town to annex property?
432, yeah. E,
Can I see what you're
Sure.
referring to? 'Cause mine's not numbered.
it's on the second page.
This is establishing a service plan.
That's what they did before they annexed the property in.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
annex,
that's required by statute. It's
Yep.
not specific. The one that's specific is the one resolution setting forth the intent of the town to annex property.
okay, that would be
433.
444, oh, wait a minute, oh, okay. 444 would be the house, 443 would be the house then. Correct?
Well, this is an adjustment of trying to clean up the 2002 annexation to include the bar property.
Right, so the conference with the mayor was that we would put the curb stops out there, one for the cabins, one for the house, and one for the bar. The water was down on Harley. The water, within 5 years, would be moved to the property, And-
The water,
Service?
the water service. I have 1 meter that is on Harley. I'm going to sell my house now. What do I tell the people in the house, that they can pay the bar whatever they think they owe them? I mean, I need a water meter for the house. That's what he promised me, that's why I installed 3
I'm
Well,
not
three
aware
curb
of any
stops.
extra promises.
See,
What
that
I'm going
house,
for
that
is-
house was annexed, that house and that lot that the house sits on
Mhm.
is
Yes.
annexed into the town.
Yes.
And I listened to your guy, Spencer, whatever his name is, in Billings, and he says the town is responsible to the property line, to provide the water line to the property line, and from the property line on.
And
it's
we
the
spent
landowner on that one.
quite a bit of
I got
money.
involved in that.
Quite a bit of money putting in those curb stops and putting in the lines that run out to you.
Okay.
So, and then, you know,
Where is our property line at?
I don't know.
It's between Bigler's and yours,
yes.
Yeah,
on the
But
south.
you put in water lines to your house and everything, we just have not hooked up
Oh,
individually.
right, yep, you have not hooked up into us. So now
So
we're
we
selling
would
the
have to
house.
run through
So if you
each
sell
other's
the
property?
house,
see, Mike
they're
went
still
out
hooked
there and
with
put
the
in
bar
3
and
curb
the cabins.
stops.
There's,
You
the
required
wa- it's
it.
one
You
water
said the
line going
city
in.
required that, I was, well, you were on
You
that.
sell the
Yeah,
house,
why didn't
I
we
have
hook
no
up at that
idea.
time? Why
Covers the
didn't we
bar and
tap
the
at that
I
time?
have no idea.
you're all hooked together.
But this is what happened, he put all of these
And that's
curb
pretty
tops
separate.
in, he required all them lift pumps for the sewer,
Right, right.
many
yeah.
thousands of dollars, that Mike required all this.
$40,000.
Well, if Mike required it, why did we not push him to
I
hook
have
that
no
tap
idea,
up?
You
I
had
have no idea.
It says, though, under 4 of the intent to annex, all expenses of construction and maintenance of the sewer lift station serving the property shall be the responsibility of the property owner.
We got that.
Yes, they did
They
that.
got
Lift
that,
station
but they
is
never
in.
got it
It,
hooked
like I
up
said,
individually.
$40,000 worth of work, it's
Yeah.
all in there, ready for
Yeah.
you.
Still doesn't have individual hookups to each place.
So
Yeah,
your
one
house
hookup
meter's running
serving
through your
three
bar
places.
meter, right?
Yes.
Where it
Everything runs
should
through
be
the one
3
meter over here on
hookups
Harley.
serving individuals.
There's that one line goes down the bar.
Right, right.
And
But I
that
don't-
huge amount
I
of money
guess
for
I'm-
your
I'm-
3 curb stops that are sitting in front of the place there, or sitting in the ground for whatever you wanna do with them.
Right.
You're
I
required
don't
under,
understand why that wasn't done, if that was, if
That's,
Mike was required to do that, why didn't he do it?
Well, that'll be the next issue, that'll just take a minute too, we'll get that resolved, so.
I have no idea what
Yeah,
he.
cause we're gonna
But you know,
have to.
when we was going through all of this annexation stuff, all the resolutions that were read, we all voted on, well, you were here, and Tim was here, I was here. We voted on that stuff, or Anderson signed it, we all signed that stuff.
Right,
Everything that was filed in red line for this annexation, the only signature on there was Brenda's. Well, what happened to all that stuff that we signed? That's what's got me really upset. Somebody,
a lot of things have got me
Screw
really
it.
I'll
upset too.
tell you what happened to it in a second, that'll be the next number 3,
I mean,
and then you'll find
because
the
we all
whole
voted,
thing
we
out.
listened,
Pretty
we had the
simple.
resolutions, we
Right.
read it off, we all voted yes for it, signed it, he signed it. None of that got recorded.
no, it did,
And there's no signatures on it.
well, I don't know what's, but I checked again with it.
All the
Department of Treasury.
paperwork that was recorded, they used the number for the annexation for the house. The house was zoned before agricultural, they changed the zoning to residential and annexed in the house, at the same time they annexed in the business. So it was a lot of confusing of the numbers there.
Well, the business was actually annexed in way back,
No,
a
it
long time
wasn't
ago.
true.
It was
Yeah,
illegal.
Aldo did.
No.
It wasn't legal.
No, it wasn't legal, and it still isn't legal.
It's filed at Red Lodge
Oh.
with the clerk.
I'm saying, he told me you can bring down a piece of paper that says she's wearing green today and get that filed. My lawyer's been dealing with it, Shirley. I'm not gonna go there and argue it, just I'm just gonna let you know what I know is.
Well, I
Okay.
just
I did
wanted-
check though, that whole property along there is with the Department of Treasury, it is as inside the town.
Right, because you know why? The mayor made me go and get a survey done, putting the property inside the town. Okay, but the thing of
Wait
it
a minute,
was.
wait a minute. No, I reviewed all the notes here,
Mhm.
and it was you coming to the town wanting to be
Right,
annexed.
right,
Okay.
you're absolutely right.
And I looked at the 2002, I went over there and checked, and they only had a piece of the property, not the whole property. So we went back and annexed the whole property.
That was the
Okay.
restaurant casino.
And we also had to get the covenant off the original survey that said you could only use that property as agricultural.
Right,
Okay, everybody facilitated that,
right.
okay? And the agreement, as I understood it, according to the intent to, I'm not saying you didn't meet separately with Mayor Anderson, okay?
Mhm.
I don't know what the terms there were. But to annex, to get town services to the house property as well as the bar property, which sits in between, you had to be annexed.
That was exactly the reason we got annexed.
Okay.
And we wanted to be annexed because Jim worked his butt off, literally running stuff back and forth to Red
I know.
Lodge. Because we went to closing and they told us at closing we weren't annexed. And we were having a problem with the closing because the closing attorneys couldn't close right. And Jim ran back and forth to Red Lodge daily trying to get it done for us. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even own the place right now. So that's not an issue. The issue is, the annexation, what their DEQ quote is saying, you had a AOC restriction in 2008.
Agricultural.
Hmm?
Agricultural.
No, it's, I got a letter from him to stating all this stuff to me. I'm not gonna say it right if I say it right.
According to the DEQ, everything we did was illegal, shouldn't have been done.
Yeah, you had a administrative order of consent, OCA,
Okay.
in 2008. Okay, Mr. Anderson, oh, sorry, is his name Anderson? The mayor thing. Mr. Anderson wrote me a letter saying that the 2008 ACO did not restrict them from annexing anything residential or anything into the town. That might have been true for residential, but it wasn't true for commercial. Then he told me that Mike Ventling could sign off on the work, and the DQ saying no, Mike Ventling isn't an engineer, he cannot sign off on this or do anything for the annexation. So the annexation, according to them, is no good. The other problems he brought up, we've been working with an engineer now, we've been working with DEQ, we've been working with everybody we can to try to get things resolved, because we've had multiple cease and desist orders. Because we can't run what we're running, the holding tanks were not approved by DEQ, or we have to do this all came about, we were getting along, when we got annexed in and everything, what happened was they turned over to Riverstone Health. Riverstone Health came over, and it was a stupid thing. They went in the kitchen and they says, there's a drain here, and you have a drain separation between your sink and your floor. I said, I can't do that. I says, my drain here goes into grease trap.
Yeah.
Then it goes into another submergible tank where it eats everything in it. Well, is all that approved by DEQ? No, I'm annexed into the town. They're like, wrong. Then they started bringing up the stuff about when was this put in the paper for 2 weeks, when was it voted on, the growth plan.
This was by petition, okay?
Mhm. But
It's
I'm
a
saying
different part of
what
the
they're
statute.
bringing up to me.
There's not you don't get into voting because it was by petition and you got the okay of all the surrounding, and that's all that's required, okay? That, they're citing a different part of the annexation statute.
But they're saying the annexation, because it's commercial, cannot be done the way you did it, because you did it as a residential, and it cannot be done like that. It's not the same part of the, where did he bring it up to me? MCA, he recited chapter 2 and chapter 7. Montana Code allocated. He gave me, I've got paperwork out the
Who
yin-yang.
is giving you this information?
This was all this guy, Josh, that was turning me in.
DEQ?
Well, Josh in Red Lodge.
Josh was the thing, and he turned me over to DEQ, yeah. I built a whole bakery and gifts on that place, but every attempt of, opening it, we couldn't even get it on our floor plan. I had to close it down as a gym now because DEQ wouldn't recognize it. They wouldn't come out at all to inspect it. DEQ hasn't, or sanitarian hasn't been out to my place in 5 years.
That's the sanitarian.
Yeah, 5 years.
He wouldn't come out.